Hello friends. So far we have seen for equipment to be replaced after its lifetime, we have used the depreciation methods, straight line method and the diminishing depreciation method. In case of straight line fund method, the amount to be kept aside every year is called the annual depreciation charge, and that was same till the end of the lifespan of the equipment, and that amount is utilized to purchase the new equipment at the end of the lifespan of the equipment. Whereas in case of diminishing fund method, first year, at the end of the first year, the depreciation value is higher value. In the next year, the depreciation value will be less, and it goes on reduces till the end of the lifespan of the equipment, and that amount or that depreciation amount is utilized to purchase the new equipment. Whereas in case of sinking fund method, some amount is kept in the bank, and that amount is called Q, that will be kept in the first year itself. By the end of the first year, the amount deposited Q will get the interest. Similarly, in the next year, for this Q and interest will also get another interest, that is called compound interest. So by the time the span of the equipment, lifespan of the equipment reaches, then the accumulated amount in the bank is utilized to purchase the new equipment. Here we do not use the term called depreciation factor or depreciation word, because here the amount is deposited in the first year itself. So to get the new equipment, knowing the right amount to Q to be deposited in the first year is the main aim of the sinking fund method. At the end of the lifespan, the total sinking fund will be equal to the initial value of the equipment minus scrap value of the equipment. And in this case, small r is the rate of interest. All parameters are known except Q. So in other words, in case of sinking fund method, it is nothing but it is the equipment value after lifespan. Sinking fund method means it is the equipment value after lifetime of the equipment. In this method, a fixed amount is deposited every year and interest compounded on it annually. The amount deposited for useful lifetime, you can say P minus S, that is nothing but cost of replacement of the equipment. And small n is the useful life of equipment in years, small r is the annual rate of interest, S is the scrap value after useful life of the equipment, P is the initial value of the equipment. Let Q be the amount set aside as accumulated charge every year, and the interest rate are compounded on it such that P minus S is available after n years. So then annual accumulated amount Q at annual interest rate R, that is at the end of the first year, the amount deposited or accumulated can be written as Q plus Q into R. Q is the principal amount and R is the rate of interest, and so Q plus QR, or in other words, taking Q as common, Q into 1 plus R. This is the accumulated amount at the end of the year. Similarly, at the end of the second year, the accumulated amount can be calculated like this. This will become principal for the second year. So write as it is Q into Q plus QR plus. So repeat this as it is, but multiply with the rate of interest, that is small r. So then this becomes the total accumulated amount at the end of the second year. So after simplification, by taking Q as a common, then we get Q into R square plus 2R plus R, and taking Q as common, and this can be written as 1 plus R whole square. At the end of the nth year, accumulated amount, just similar to the second year, it can be written like this: Q into 1 plus R whole power n. Suppose it is for third year, at the end of the third year means Q into 1 plus R whole cube. Let the amount Q deposited at the end of the first year will earn compound interest rate for n minus 1 years. So for accumulated amount is calculated, whereas now what is the compound interest received every year, that can be calculated like this. When the amount Q is deposited at the end of the first year, it will earn a compound interest for n minus 1 years. If the life period is 10 years and if the amount deposited Q is at the end of the first year, the compound interest will come only for 10 minus 1 years. That means 9 years. Similarly here for n years lifespan, if the amount is deposited at the end of the first year, the compound interest will come only for n minus 1 years. So that is equal to Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus 1. Then amount Q deposited at the end of second year receives compound interest is equal to Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus 2. Similarly, for third year, it will become Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus 3. Similarly, Q deposited at the end of n minus 1 years can be written as Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus of n minus 1. That is, after simplification, we get Q into 1 plus R. So adding all these accumulated amount, we get Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus 1 plus Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus 2 plus Q into 1 plus R. That is for the whole lifespan. Then after simplification further, taking Q as common, then we get 1 plus R whole power n minus 1 plus 1 plus R whole power n minus 2 and so on plus 1 plus R. And if it is observed that this is nothing but GP series, and it can be simplified like this: Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus 1 divided by small r. This is nothing but total accumulated amount. So that is nothing but total sinking fund. And that can be written like this: total sinking fund is equal to Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus 1 divided by R. And we have seen that this amount must be equal to the P minus S, so it can be written like this: total sinking fund is equal to P minus S is equal to Q into 1 plus R whole power n minus 1 divided by small r. And from this, we can calculate what is the sinking fund to be deposited at the first year or at first is nothing but Q. It can be calculated like this. Small q is equal to P minus S into R divided by 1 plus R whole power n minus 1. And from this R by 1 plus R whole power n minus 1 can be treated as sinking fund factor. So that is sinking fund deposited at the first year, Q is equal to sinking factor into P minus S. So let me summarize one sinking fund method. So in case of sinking fund method, the rate of interest should be known. Similarly, the initial value of the equipment should be known and the scrap value of the equipment should be known. Then we can calculate what is the total sinking fund method, and from that we can also calculate the amount to be deposited in the first year itself, Q, using the formula which is covered as P minus S into small r divided by 1 plus R whole power n minus 1.